And we're live. We did it.
We did it. And we're
Happy
live.
Easter.
Happy
We're
Easter,
live.
buddy. Well, not happy
Well,
Easter to you guys.
yeah, not happy Easter to y'all.
Happy April. Happy spring.
Spring. Hmm.
Yep. Yep. I guess
Hey,
spring happened like a couple weeks ago, actually.
I listened to last week's episode. You did such a good job at editing. Oh my gosh. Like, you need to just be the new official editor because I was cracking up. I was like, this is amazing.
I went in there and I made a point to bring up the Vlad the
Yeah.
Impala and I had it on there with Josh and I was like, Amy messed this up so bad. I was like, so I'm gonna get her for it. And as I'm listening, I hear Heidenberg and he's like, do you mean Hindenburg? And I'm like, oh my God, you're right. I was like, I look like an asshole. He's like, you have to make fun of yourself now or just take it out. And I'm like, I can't take it out. I was like, and I would feel terrible if I took it out. I'm a liar. He's like, you know what you should do? You should send it out to someone and have them make like a remix out of it. And I was like, I don't have time for that. I'll just try to do something myself.
You did good. And then at the
Thanks.
end, it was like a drop, and it was like, it's actually pronounced Hindenburg.
Hindenburg.
Did you do that sound, or did you find
Yes.
like
No,
something?
that was me.
Okay.
I just
Wow.
slowed it down with the pitch.
That was really good.
I'll
I
edit
loved
this
it.
week. I have fun. I really do have fun editing. It's just,
I'm glad
yeah.
you do. It was
Clearly,
pretty good.
you guys know which ones I edit because I throw in something
They're
really
more
stupid in it.
they're more fun.
Yours are fun too.
Nah. Not as fun. Okay. So, who's going I forgot. I had a question for you.
Okay.
I was looking at
I
my
thought you
notes.
froze because you're like,
I hold on. Okay. I put my question like in the middle of my neighborhood story, so that's why I
oh.
was very confused. So I have a question for you. When you make a phone call to like the bank or to like Amazon or whatever, and there's like an option, they say like at the end there will be a survey at the end. Can you please do the survey? Do you do the survey?
It depends on who from, but a lot of times I will. If they've
Mm-hmm.
pissed me off and made me wait forever, then no. But if they were like
Yeah.
actually helpful and I have a second, I'm like I would like to do the survey if someone's actually helpful and like nice. And I'm like, sure, I'll give you a survey. What's your name? But
Yeah. I do the
usually
same
they
thing.
forget if they cut me off and they're like, "Hi, can you give me a survey?" Or if at the end of this call there's a brief survey and blah 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 blah, and I'm like, "Okay, cool," and then bloop, they just switch me over to the survey, and I'm like, "Well, fine, I didn't get your name, so I'm not going to do the survey then." Clearly, you
I
don't
do
care that
this
much.
I do the same thing, Brie.
Yeah, because it makes
If they
people
make
look
me
good if
yeah,
they're working hard at their job.
if they make me mad for whatever reason, I won't do the survey because I don't want to say something mean about somebody
Same,
because
same,
it one, it could be not their fault, or
right?
two, they're
I'm
just
just
having a bad
pissed.
day.
I'm
Yeah.
just pissed about it. So that's my answer. I'm
Yeah.
just pissed about it. I'm like, no, you don't deserve it. You
You
didn't
don't deserve
you didn't
it.
give me my money back, even though
Or
it's
I
out
mean,
of your hands.
even though it's out of your hands, but you know what? I don't care.
Yeah,
The stupid company didn't give
it's
me
so
my money
mad.
back. Yeah, I do the same thing. Even with like if you go to Taco Bell and the people are super friendly, they say like they get it like some sort of not
Yeah,
commission, but they get something. So I'll
it
try to do
adds to
that
like
too.
some kind of like yeah. Um
Incentive for them.
yeah, Walmart does that with the Walmart pickup and I like every single time in Fairbanks, the one lady would always I would always have like the same person and she was always so perky and so happy. And she's like, if you can give me a survey, and I'm like, I already know your name. I'll give you another survey. And she was always so nice. She was like, how you doing today? How's it going? Lovely weather. And I'm like, it's -40 out and you're loading my groceries. You're doing great. Thanks.
You're doing great.
I'm gonna give you 5 stars.
Okay, who's going first this week?
um
You went first
Yeah.
last week.
Okay, you can go for I was about to say I have my neighborhood story right here.
Okay.
Real quick, speaking of neighborhood story, last week I didn't mention that my neighborhood story was also fake. And I think our neighborhood stories were both similar because they were both about a crazy neighbor complaining about their crazy neighbors, but they were just both crazy in the end.
I forgot what yours was.
It was this guy who got
I just
invited
listened
to
to it.
his neighbor's
Oh
Cinco de Mayo
yeah.
party, and he ended up
Yeah.
like they sent the pinata full of poop. And the next weekend, he went and partied with them anyway. And he said, "I'm just as crazy."
That's so funny. I totally believe that one. The
It
poop
was
one, the
inspired.
pinata poop, that was kind of rough. I
Yeah.
was like, who on earth would shove poop
Had
into
to
a
throw something
pinata? But
crazy in there.
I was like, clearly this is real.
These guys are
But it wasn't.
nuts.
I didn't know it wasn't. I didn't
Yes,
know it
that
was
is a fake
fake.
story, guys. So just so you know, don't get me on that.
Don't you get her on
All
that
right.
one.
My neighborhood story this week is oh God, where'd you go? Not
Oh,
TripAdvisor.
that's an interesting title.
Where'd you go? God, where'd you go? Dear Margaret. uh let's see. Apparently Twitter desperately needs how to be normal with your neighbors lessons. First and foremost,
Oh.
it's take notes, guys. It
Okay.
is okay to interact with them. It's okay to interact with your neighbors. Make them chilly. Write extremely awkward notes so they know other people can hear them and offer them beer.
Okay.
And then that's all. So take notes, offer your neighbors beer, make them chilly, interact with them, and then write them notes about how they're loud.
Okay.
Check,
I
check,
can
check.
do I can do all of those.
Do you
Did you
want to
where'd you
be
find that on
neighborly?
Twitter?
Yeah.
I love it. Also, it sounds like someone's lonely.
Yeah, right. Or someone got annoyed. I wonder if like they went and like made someone chilly and was like got some their neighbor got the wrong idea about them and talked about them on social media and they're probably like, "All right, I'm going to
Oh,
blast you."
yeah, and they hurt their feelings.
Rude. It's
Rude.
okay to make people chilly.
It's
Good.
okay to make people chili.
Don't read into it.
Rick made really good vegan chili a couple weeks ago. It was very tasty
Vegan.
for my
Ooh.
sister when my
Oh,
sister was
that's so
here.
nice of him.
I
You
know.
can make
He was
vegan
like,
stuff really good.
yeah, he was like, I want to make hush puppies, and I was like, oh, you can make chili and hush puppies for when Katie's here, and he was like, okay. So it was really tasty.
He's a
Okay,
good cook.
so I am going to tell you a story about a murder
Murder.
in the Cheesehead State, aka Green Bay, Wisconsin. And
Wisconsin.
so I will want to make a public apology to my mother because I asked her to pick a state for me this week and she picked Georgia. And I am clearly not doing Georgia. But I was like, all right. So I started on I started on a story and I was like halfway through and I was like, I don't like this story. So I checked it. And then I started on another one. I was like a quarter way through and I was like, this story's stupid. So I threw it out too.
Yep.
AKA I wasn't getting fast results
Yep.
and I wanted like fast results and I needed to do more research. I was
I
like,
get
no,
that.
I want it now.
It's my money and
So
I need it now.
so we're in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And dude, this happened in 2022.
Oh, very recent. Okay.
So if you've heard of it, keep your mouth shut. Not you, the
Shut your
listeners.
pie hole.
Yeah, the listeners, if you've heard it, shut your mouth.
I
So
probably haven't heard of it.
I didn't. I was kind of shocked that I didn't because we were recording.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Come on, Amy.
So crazy. In February, were we? Yeah. Yeah. So it's 3 a.m., February 23rd, 2022. Green Bay 911 gets a call from a man named Steve. Steve was kind of groggy. He had just woken up, but he was calling because his girlfriend named Tara was losing it. She was losing her mind. She was hysterical. Steve was like, I don't know why. I don't know. She just woke me up calling and told me to call 911. So I'm going to play you part because the 911 call was really long, but I'm going to play you part of it.
Okay.
Okay. Can you hear it okay? Can you hear it okay?
No.
Okay. I have a better idea.
Okay.
How did we
No.
do?
I mean, usually if you hold it away from the mic, like at least like right here,
It's,
it's good. But
but
that one
it's,
sounds, it just sounds
the
muffled,
sound is,
period.
yeah, the sound is already bad. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Oh, dude, that's cool.
Can we hear it? How do
Yes.
we make it here? You can hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What? I'm sure we
Isn't
can
that
edit that to be
crazy?
a little clearer. Hey, Cody, if you can make that recording of that a little bit more clearer, that'd be great. If not, then we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we
I
can
mean,
like
it's the
tweak it or
audio
something.
period that's a little funky,
Yeah.
but that
I try to find a better
dang.
one that they're all the same.
Yeah.
So, uh Steve, for just to kind of recap. So Steve couldn't confirm with the dispatcher if there was actually a head in the bucket because his eyesight is bad and it was super dark.
How do you
And
not
the dispatcher was like, "Go ahead."
no matter how bad your eyesight is, I feel like you'd know if there was a head in a bucket. Anyway,
Yeah. I think he might have just been kind of in denial. Um the dispatcher was like, "Are you sure your girlfriend wasn't hallucinating?" And he was like, "No, she was not hallucinating." So within minutes, officers were at their house. She points the officers down to the basement. One of the officers, Alex Walnish, he takes a look around the room. He sees dried blood all over the air mattress, and next to the mattress there was like a 5-gallon bucket with a beach towel over it. Alex lifts the towel and confirms that there was in fact a head in the bucket. There's a head
what?
in the bucket, Delilah, Delilah. Have you ever heard that song? There's a hole in the bucket.
No. Nope.
Um, with a picture provided by Tara, the officer was able to confirm the head in the bucket belonged to Tara's son, Shad Thyron. 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 Right underneath the head
T
was
Y T
his
Y R O N E.
Tyrion. Thyron.
Tyrone? Would that be
Thigh,
Tyrone?
thigh, Thy,
Oh, okay.
Thyron.
All right.
Right underneath the head was a penis and testicles. On
Oh.
the yeah.
Sorry. I was not expecting
Ooh.
that. I thought we were past the head. And then all of a sudden,
No.
there's another head.
So on the concrete floor, there were swirls of blood. It honestly looked like it was like there was a puddle of blood there, and someone like used towels to like swirl it and wipe it up, but then ended up giving up. The officer found 2 blood soaked knives along with a plastic bag with 3 other bloody knives, a bread knife, and 2 other kitchen knives. Many more bags were found in the basement containing other body parts and organs that belonged to Shad.
Oh.
There was, I know, we just kind of dive right into this, and I'm so
Yeah, it's
sorry
good.
about it.
No, it's good. I love it. I
There,
don't nope. I love it. I love it. That's just what we're here for.
this is what we're here for. There was a big blue storage container in the basement, and inside of it, the officer found Shad's upper torso. And inside of his upper torso, there was one of Shad's feet. She was like, the officer was like, that's an odd place to put a
Like
foot.
like in his cavity, like they
Along,
opened him up and then they put
yeah,
a foot in there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a that's where I left it.
Along his neckline where his head was removed, the cuts were super rough. Imagine like a piece of steak that you're trying to cut with a super, super dull knife. It was just like all torn up. So,
Ugh.
alongside of the blue container, there was various body fluids. The officer also found a glass pipe and a gram of unidentified substance, which later was confirmed that it was meth. So
Okay.
the officer goes back to Tara, Shad's mother, and was like, okay, who was the last person to talk or see Shad? And she said, oh, that's Shad's friend/friends with benefits, Taylor Schabusiness.
Was that her real name? Schabusiness. Mind
So,
Schabusiness. Sorry.
mind your shabusiness. So, let's talk about Taylor. Taylor was born as Taylor Coronado in Everson, Illinois on November 23rd, 1997. So, no, that was not her real last name.
Okay.
She had a bad life. Her parents raised her and her younger brother AJ, and I shouldn't say it was a bad life. She had a decent upbringing, but it was a decent middle class life. When she was in fourth grade, her dad got got a transfer to Green Bay, and he moved his family there. Her mother was a bad, mean alcoholic, and she made the family unstable, and the kids were kind of scared of her. So it was decent to an extent,
Right.
I should say. In May of 2009, when Taylor was 11, her mother passed away from cirrhosis in her sleep at the age of 41. Her dad sent Taylor and AJ to school. And then when they got home from school, that's when he told them. Shortly after her mom's death, her dad remarried. As a response, Taylor started to act out. She would pick fights with other kids at school. When Taylor turned 12, her dad caught her trying to take her own life by cutting her throat, but he caught her just in time. So her dad took her to a
Jeez.
mental health doctor, and she was prescribed a slew of different medications for ADHD, depression, mood stabilizers, and some other things. But in high school, she wasn't much better behavior wise. A few years in high school, she met Shad, and they became boyfriend and girlfriend. They
Is
always
Shad
were up
Tyrone?
to, yeah, his last name is Tyrone. His
Oh,
first name is
okay.
Shad.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
Okay,
gotcha.
you got it? Okay.
Yeah.
So, they became boyfriend and girlfriend. They were always up to no good, getting into a lot of mischief. Eventually, her school was like, nah, this is too much, and decided to expel her. Her poor father was like, what the heck am I supposed to do with you now? So he sends her off to Texas to finish high school with her grandparents. Hopefully, this would be, a way for her to start new and focus on herself. And it ends up being a good move for her. She graduated. She felt good and proud of herself, which unfortunately she felt since she was feeling so good, she shouldn't take her meds anymore, which is not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Um, so in 2019, Taylor was like, I'm going to move back to Green Bay. Unfortunately, she was still off her meds and was self medicating with weed, alcohol, and meth. So Taylor met
Not a good
Warren Chabot.
substitute.
No, 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 no. Taylor met Chabot, Warren Chabot. He was her meth drug dealer, and they got into a relationship. Nothing's more romantic than marrying your drug dealer.
Yeah.
Um,
It's the last name,
Warren was in
the Chabot.
Chabot. Warren was in his 20s. He had a job and hit all the basics a woman is looking for in a man. And when I say he had a job, he was a meth dealer. So, but at least he was bringing home the money.
I was about to say he's probably bringing home a good bit of money.
They were glued at the hip and she was smitten over this guy. Unfortunately, their relationship was pretty rocky. I mean, a new relationship mixed with meth is not a good combo. They were always accusing the other of cheating. Like, you're cheating. No, you're cheating. No, you're cheating. Um, Warren Warren was also kind of controlling. He started to isolate her from her family. Despite all their fights, they ended up getting married in late 2019. And instead of changing her last name to his last name, Chabot, Warren was like, you should change it to Schabusiness. And she was like, that's so cool. That's
Of
so
course,
cool.
Chabot thought of that. Genius. I love it. Classic.
So
Chabot Schabusiness.
in July of 2020, Taylor was high on meth, knocking on people's doors in Green Bay, which was in the middle of the pandemic. Excuse me, ma'am, you're just going and knocking on people's doors?
Right? Call.
Oh my goodness.
You have to virtual knock,
Um
Taylor.
so someone called the cops. The cops find her on the streets and she tells the officers she's on a different planet now and shows the officers her fresh track marks. After they calmed her down, another officer shows up and she starts to freak out again. She walks into oncoming traffic and acts erratic. They ended up arresting her and charging her with resisting arrest and battery on an officer because like she was like kicking one of the officers in the shin. Since it was her first felony, she got 3 years probation and mandatory psychological evaluation. Not even a month later, in August of 2020, an officer attempted to pull her over while driving, but instead, she floors it. She sends the police on a high speed chase through Green
Oh
Bay,
my god.
almost hits multiple vehicles. She ends up stopping at her dad's apartment complex, gets out, and attempts to make a run for it, trying to get trying to get to inside her dad's apartment, but she ends up getting tackled and arrested. So she got
This
3
sounds like
months
an
in jail for
episode of
that.
Cops. This sounds like an
It
episode of
does.
Cops.
So she got 3 months in jail and an additional 2 years of probation. And I have a surprise for you, Bree. Taylor was also pregnant when she was arrested.
Oh my gosh.
So she was
Oh.
like, okay, you know what? I'm pregnant. I just had my second arrest and spent 3 months in jail. I need to get clean. Like, I need to get my life together. So she moves back to Texas to live a better life with her grandparents. Meanwhile, Warren
Shababy.
is in jail. Shababy.
I'm sorry, she's gonna so many like funny things in the story. Chabot and
She could have
Shabusiness is gonna have a
a shababy.
shababy.
Okay, so Warren is still in jail because he got arrested for drug dealing.
Right.
So she was like, he's not going to miss out on anything while he's in jail. This is a perfect time to go and get clean. Early in 2021, Taylor was 23 at the time and gives birth to a baby boy. She is doing her best to be a good mom. She starts making beaded jewelry and selling it on Facebook, just trying to keep her hands busy because of her addiction to meth, and be a good mom. So she did try to kill herself twice after giving birth. So her dad was like, "Okay, we need to get you help." So he sends her off to another hospital where she was diagnosed with PTSD, ADHD, and bipolar. The baby gets sent off to Warren's side of the family to be taken care of. After Taylor was released, she went to stay with her dad for a few months. Ugh. And unfortunately, which seems to be like the key word to this episode, her dad was arrested for raping a 13-year-old in 2018.
Ew.
So so he was sentenced to 12 years in prison. And so Taylor was like on her own now, and she finds out her husband had cheated on her before he went to prison. So she hits up Facebook and posts exactly this. I got hitched to show them my commitment, loyalty, and dedication to them, that I was never going to be how I used to be. Then they turned around and fuck on me. There is no way I'll ever go into another relationship. Hashtag can't trust no one.
Can't
So,
trust no one.
can't trust no one. In February of 2022, Taylor rekindles an old relationship and gets back on meth. And that relationship was with her high school lover, Shad. They ended up spending most of their time together. The night of February 22nd, Taylor and her friend are looking to party. They jump into Taylor's roommate's minivan and go and pick up Shad, who is living in his mom's basement. They drive and make a pit stop to pick up meth, weed, and trazodone, um, a crowd pleaser, I hear, and
Mm.
go back to Taylor's apartment. Taylor and Shad decide to break out the meth. Like, the party was like vibing, but they're like, we need to step it up a notch. So they break out the meth, and I guess when you take meth, you then take the trazodone to bring down your high so it's not so intense. I don't know. Just sounds like you're going up and down, and that just sounds painful to deal with mentally. But you do you. At some point, one of their friends leaves, so it was just them eventually at the apartment. They realize that they're out of meth, so they decide to go get more. They leave Taylor's place and pick up more meth. They go back to Shad's place early in the morning. Taylor takes some hits on the meth pipe and passes the pipe to Shad. Shad takes it but pulls out two silver chain link necklaces that were like dog chain necklaces, like the dog chain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
He pulls two of those out um and suggests to use it during intercourse. And she was like, "Okay." What I'm about to share next is Taylor's confession to the officers while she was high. Taylor said during intercourse, Taylor gets on top of Shad and pulls the loose end of the chain and watches Shad's face turn from red to purple, and then she notices him going in and out of consciousness. And during her high, she was thinking, wow, I can change the color of his face. So she was making his face change from red to purple to blue, and she wanted him to be small, and even said when she pulled harder it made him smaller, which I don't understand that, but that must be the high talking. She said that she could feel his heartbeat slow down and then come to a halt, which excited her even more and would pull harder, causing him to cough up blood. But it didn't stop her because she wanted to see what happened. Which
Oh my god. This is
death
a
is what
disaster.
happens.
Yeah. Clearly.
After she realizes Shad was actually dead, she ends up raping his body with herself and multiple toys of hers.
Oh my god.
At some point, Taylor takes a nap after being up for 24 hours. When she wakes up, she realizes she needs to move Shad's body from the house and decides to cut up his body to make it easier to move his body. She creeps upstairs to the kitchen and grabs a handful of kitchen knives. She tried multiple knives on his neck to remove it into the bucket, but she ended up finding that the bread knife was the best one.
Yeah, I was about to say the
So,
serrated.
so his head was like hanging off the edge of the bed, and the bucket was below,
Oh
and
god.
that's like so. It was like collecting a lot of the fluids,
Right.
and she ended up taking it and pouring it down the shower drain that was in the basement, and then she let the head go into the bucket. She used the bread knife and cut off his genitals and put them in the bucket. She then takes a nap because that was so exhausting. When she wakes up, she cuts Shad in half, hot dog style.
What? Why?
I don't know.
Why? That just
She cut
doesn't.
him hot dog style.
Maybe
And
because
for
the
those that
bones were harder to cut through, because you have to go through really
there's
thick
more
bone to cut through that way.
oh.
So, like, you go through, like, oh, but your pelvis, your pelvic region would be so hard to cut.
But there's
Anyway,
still like an opening in the pelvic
yeah.
region.
Yeah, and then, like, your ribs, there's opening there. Huh.
Yes, so she cuts him
Hot
hot
dog
dog style,
style.
straight down the
Wow.
middle, everybody. She removes all of his organs, putting them in
Can I
Walmart
just say,
bags.
I love
Yeah.
that you referred to hot. I know why you said hot dog style because, like, in elementary school, I remember they would say to fold your paper in either hot dog or hamburger style. So that, like, that lets me know
Yeah.
perfectly exactly how he was cut. The long ways,
Yes.
not the short ways.
Not the short way. So she hot dog shad.
Hot diggity
Um,
dog.
she removes all of his organs and puts them in Walmart bags. She takes his torso and puts it in the blue storage container. She cuts his arms off at the elbow and puts the arms in the storage container. She cuts off his left foot and puts it inside of Shad's empty chest.
This is not funny.
She's
I
like,
promise.
"This is a great spot for it. This is an
I just
excellent
put that
spot for the
here.
shoe. For the this and this will store his foot."
Oh shoot! I don't know where to put his foot. Oh, here we go.
Um, at this point, she was tired, so she slows down and decides to fillet his back and right thigh.
Oh no! No! Oh no!
um she claims she was hearing footsteps and gunshots and that there was no door to leave out of because it was the basement. So she decides to start cleaning, but then got lazy and was hungry. So she stopped cleaning.
So just eat what you're cutting. Of course. Duh.
She ends up throwing the towel over the bucket with the head in it. And she said she threw the towel over it with full intention of grabbing the bucket with his head. Um, she grabs the still intact left leg and foot and forgets all about the bucket. This brings us back to the very beginning when Tara finds Shad's head in the basement. Tara told law enforcement that they had spent 24 hours down there, and she was like, that's, they're old enough. I'm not going to check on them. They're doing their own thing. I'm not going to intrude. So, with this information, police go over to Taylor's apartment. They see the van Taylor was using. As they approach the vehicle, the van lights turn on. The officers look into the windows and they find a laundry basket full of laundry and a crock pot box. When the officers look on the outside of the vehicle, they see a few droplets of blood in the snow, leading them to the apartment of Taylor's home. But as they were walking towards her apartment, she was actually walking towards them because she was walking back to the van. She stops and smiles at them. The officers see her sweatpants were caked in blood, her hands were stained of blood, but she had a full face of fresh makeup and eyelashes. She was obviously arrested. She was booked and had to put on the jail jumpsuit. Inside the interrogation room, they leave her alone for a bit and they catch her on camera saying, "I fucking hate this outfit." So Detective Graff told her they found a lot of blood in the basement, and she said that fucks up. The detective and her go back and forth for a while, and finally it dawns on her that she forgot the head in the bucket, and she was like, "Dang, I can't believe I left the head." Girl, you just murdered somebody and then cut him up into multiple pieces. You're worried about the head in the bucket? Like that's the smoking gun? Like if
I
they
left the
didn't have the
stove
head,
on.
like like
Oh
if
man.
like they couldn't, like, the head is what is going to indict her. Oh my goodness. So they ask her why. Why did you kill Shad? And she says, "Good question, because I blacked out during that time, but I need to think." They asked her they asked her about her choking him, and she said she enjoyed it. They asked her if he fought back, and she said he did, but I won. And when they questioned how long it took to dismember Shad, she said it took a while, and said she should have taken more drugs because of how long it took. She said it took all day.
Oh my
Towards the end
gosh.
of her interview, Taylor apologized for what she did. Authorities were trying to decide if Taylor was even stable enough to stand trial. But in February of 2023, a psychiatrist deemed Taylor unwell and not mentally stable to stand trial. Despite this, the judge ruled that she was able to stand trial. Her trial started early July 2023. Her new attorney asked for Taylor's web search history to be excluded from the trial. Some of the searches included, I really wish this whole story was fake. Some of the searches included Jeffrey Dahmer entering courtroom all sexy. The another one Another one was Jeffrey Dahmer's butt.
Oh.
So the judge was like, "Nah, we can include."
Since you asked for it not to be, that's a
He's
red
like, "Nah,
flag.
this is too funny. This is too funny." The jury only took 1 hour to deliberate. They charged her with first-degree murder, mutilation of a corpse, and third-degree sexual assault, facing mandatory life in jail.
Dude.
Taylor and her husband, remember her husband, the drug
Oh
dealer,
yeah.
are
Oh
still in
yeah.
communications. I forgot all about him. They're still in communications. Her husband Warren will post on his Facebook from jail claiming that she is innocent. And that, my friend, is Taylor Schabusiness.
Wow. Wow. That was a whirlwind. That was wild. So many emotions in that.
So many.
Like what? Is there an
You
April
know,
Fool's coming up?
no, I wish there was. Listen, just don't do meth.
Don't do
Don't
meth, guys.
do don't do meth.
I've heard
You
it's
might
it's a little bad for you.
you might end up killing your your friends with benefits and
It it leads to poor
dismembering him.
choices.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
man. She's squeezing him like like these Skittles, the color of the rainbow, changing colors.
She was like,
Ta-
"Oh, look
taste
at
the
this
rainbow.
He was like, "Please stop," and she's like, "No, taste the rainbow, my friend."
Purple!
Okay, what do you have for me?
All right. Let's see here. I got. We're going to Kansas this week. We're not really going to Kansas, but I'm telling you
We're
about
not in
somewhere in
Kansas
Kansas.
anymore, Toto.
Click clack, your heels. All right. So I'm going to tell you about the McInteer Villa in Atchison. I'm going to tell you about the McInteer Villa in Atchison, Kansas. Sorry.
Okay.
All right. So, the McInteer Villa was built for a pioneer. How, first off, how do I even like stand up to your story? Because that story was amazing, by the way. But this this is a pretty cool place. So,
Okay.
just
I'm excited.
don't drop off from listening yet, guys. This is it gets interesting.
This is great.
All right, so the McInteer Villa was built for a pioneer businessman by the name of John McInteer. John was born in Ireland in 1827 and came to America when he was just a wee little lad. He
So we
eventually moved to
little lad.
Kansas in the 1860s and started a small shop in Atchison, making saddles and harnesses, gaining a reputation as a very fine and well known craftsman. His business
Okay.
became very successful, making quite a fortune for himself. So in 1889, between 1889 and 1890, John had the mansion built and it became one of the city's most unique residences, costing at around 14,000, which is only about like you would think like when I tell you like numbers back then and compare them to now, it's like wow, that's like $10 billion, but it was
Yeah,
today's money. It's 477,424.62, which
that's
it's a
disappointing.
pricey home. It's a pricey home, but like it's not like what I would hope to hear. Like I'd hope it was like $10
Yeah.
billion dollars, but it's fine.
That's like
Whatever.
how much most houses are nowadays,
Yeah. I know,
anyways.
dude, you ain't lying. So, the home was made up of 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms and featured an intricate woodwork throughout the home.
Okay.
John's first wife, Alice, died in the
Alice.
home in 1892, and 3 years later, he remarried to an Anna Connellan, a widow
Anna.
with 3 sons. In
Okay.
1902, John passed, and Anna continued to live in the home until her death in the home. So that's 3 people that have died there so far.
Jeez.
She died in 1916. During the time, the mansion was home to a large number of her relatives, including many children. After Anna's death, her brother, Judge Charles J. Conlon, and his family lived there until 1925.
Was
The
he a
home,
judge or
yes, he
was
was he was a
okay?
judge. The home then was a rooming house for the next 25 years. I'm not sure what that is. I'm assuming it's like a boarding, like I don't know, take people in. I probably should have looked it up, but it was a rooming
Maybe, or
house.
like a hostel kind of.
Maybe, yeah. In 1952, it was then purchased by an Isabel Altus and turned into a single
Altus.
family home. Isabel was a professional violinist who lived there till 1969. Isabel was known
Wow.
to dress in all black, and the children, I guess there was a school across from the home, and the children would see her like in the home, and they started coming up with rumors that she was a witch because she looked creepy in the windows because she was dressed in all black.
I love
So,
that.
yeah, I know I would totally like lean into that. I'd be like, yeah, stay away from me then.
I
Eventually
want
is
children to gossip. I want children to gossip about me at a school and say that I'm a witch when I get old.
she's a witch. Don't talk to
She's
her.
a
She's a
witch. Don't
witch.
talk
You
to her. She
can't
doesn't
trust
ever
her.
leave her house. She
That's
wears all black.
why she
That's
has
me
cats.
now.
That is you, and you have cats. What? And you love
What?
plants. I don't know. Eventually, Isabel decided to move since she couldn't apparently afford to restore the home, and she sold it to a
Hmm.
George Geraldy. And just this was just before she died. It didn't say if she died in the home, but I'm gonna assume she did. The
Yeah, she
home was
never
then,
left.
I right, yep, she never left. The home was then restored to its former glory and put on the National Register.
Okay.
Now, one of my sources said that Isabel also went by Goldie, but according to a guest that stayed there, and the current owner of the house, they told
Hmm.
them that the prior servant that worked there was actually named Goldie and died in a rocking chair there. So,
Oh my
I say that
gosh.
because it pertains to my paranormal stuff later.
Oh,
Okay, so that's what I got on the house. Let's jump into
okay.
the paranormal.
Let's get into it.
Also, I'm not sure about this, but it is believed that the home was used for funeral ceremonies for some time. I couldn't dig up anything, but I did see that in one of my sources, so I don't know.
Okay.
So some things that happen in the home are lights turning on and off in the tower, even when there's like no electricity. Figures have been seen in the windows when no one is at home. Also, guys, if you want to picture this house, if you've seen American Horror Story, the first season, it looks a lot like that house. And that's what drew me to it. I was like, oh, cool. I love this like old Victorian, weird looking house. Anyway, it looks very cool.
Love it.
A speaker was thrown off of the counter, and boxes are tend to move. The rocking chair that Goldie died in has been known to rock back and forth on its own.
Nope.
Footsteps walking down the hallway and on the second floor throughout the night have been heard. On the second floor, guests have reported feeling uneasy and like you're being watched.
Mhm.
Items have been known to move or go missing. Creaks of turning doorknobs and slamming doors throughout the night have been heard. Lights tend to turn on and off on their own. Temperature drops. Disembodied voices from a woman and men. The door to one of the sitting rooms upstairs opens on its own, and a shadow person has been seen a few times. Also, the
Oh.
scent of a powdery woman's perfume and the hint of cigarettes has been smelled. So, I have this is from a visitor's account. I guess it's kind of a Yelp review, but it was just their recount of staying there. So the visitor
Yeah.
was named is from Tim Trudell on the Walking Tourist. And it says, after touring another sitting room and the dining room, we headed upstairs. It was here that things started to change, really change. That door wasn't open when you guys got here, she said. And I believe this is the host. Sure, sure.
Okay.
Thanks for the fright moment. Are drinks served with this show? She was serious. She recalled closing the door before we arrived. Okay, I thought. A draft from when we opened the door caused the door upstairs to open. It can happen in old
Sure.
houses. She
Yeah.
asked if we wanted to check the video with her. Stephanie and her husband allow tours overnight and visits to the villa, so they have cameras available to ensure people that they aren't doing things in the house that they shouldn't be, like conjuring up evil spirits. We watched the video on her app.
Gee, no.
We can hear Stephanie saying hello, and then shortly afterwards, the doorknob turns and the upstairs door opens, the room
No,
that we
thank
are
you.
in. Yeah, on its own. Another thing that they recounted was a few of us walked into the adjoining sitting room. Then our host noticed the EVP app was signaling a lot of energy. She asked if someone or a spirit was there. Bill, the EVP, energized a word to communicate with us. What? Then keys, followed by Toyota. My first name is William, Bill for short. I originally didn't think much about it, but I started to put pieces together. I had used my car keys to a Toyota to try to loosen a stuck battery in my camera earlier in the house. So our host thought maybe it was trying to talk to me. I asked if it was either my biological dad or my stepdad. It wouldn't acknowledge. Then it said, shoot and pose. Our host told us to take pictures of the mirror in case it wanted to reveal itself to us. I took pictures with my camera. And in the pictures online, it showed like it was a little blurry, like you could see the group, and then next to them the mirror looked like blurry and a little bit distorted next to them, and there was nothing there.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's get on to the Yelp I'm scared reviews because there's a
Wait,
lot
hold
of
on.
them. But yes.
So this, like, you okay. I just I guess what I was thinking was that like ghosts would be like stuck in their time, right? So like if there wasn't Toyota, how do they know it's a Toyota?
You know, I think that there are hauntings of where ghosts are stuck in time, and then there are also hauntings of, like, I don't know, because he asked if it was his dad. Like, who knows if it was, like, even a ghost that was, like, in the house, or what if there was, like, a portal there
I see.
for, like,
Yeah.
other
Okay.
entities to come into the home. Because
Okay.
this
That
house is
makes
very
sense.
active. So,
So
I
just like
know.
humans,
Yeah, it's
humans are
I would
either
say that there.
progressive or they're stuck in their time.
Right. I would say that there are probably, like, routine hauntings in this house, like, where they're, like, stuck in their time, but there's also, like, probably hauntings that go on that are not and that are, like, with it. So, I don't know.
Like from
Alright.
the 2020s,
Yeah, yeah. They're like, "Oh my god,
early
COVID
2000s.
sucks, right? Wear a
Like,
mask."
oops, I did it again.
Have you read that book yet? The Britney Spears, Woman in Me?
The
Oh my
Britney
god.
Spears memoir.
Alright, so the Yelp I'm Scared reviews, there were so many to pick from, I just I had to weed out my favorites. So,
Okay.
side note, upon to reading these reviews, I have discovered that they also have a doll room in the home, which, it doesn't
No, thank
pertain
you.
too much, but, I mean, I just thought it was really cool, and it makes me wanna stay there even more. So,
Yeah,
this first
because
one,
having dolls in a room is
dolls are
fun.
the best.
They're the best.
We could take our doll there.
We
Also,
could.
I forgot to tell you how so side note, stop for a second. Whenever the movers packed up our stuff, like, you left all the podcast a lot of the podcast stuff in my house with me to take with me.
Uh-huh.
And so I had that doll head, and then I had pieces of that doll. So I went ahead
Why do
and
you have
packed up
pieces of it?
because it was broken. Remember, it was like a porcelain doll,
Oh.
and part of, like, her arm was in the sleeve or something.
Oh,
She's,
I
like,
see.
broken or
Okay.
something. But I put as much of the podcast stuff in a box, and I went ahead and taped it because I didn't want the movers to open it and get freaked out.
Sure.
And I'm
That
like,
makes sense.
and typically when we would do that, they would just, like, take the box and, like, throw it on the truck or throw it in another
Yeah.
box. No, they didn't do that. They went through this damn box, and I can't even
What?
imagine what they thought when they saw this doll head. They're probably like, "Holy shit," and then, like, sage, and then, like,
And then
the
Rocket,
Ouija board stuff, and
the bat. What
yeah.
else did we have?
You have Rocket. I think you have Rocket, don't you?
I don't have Rocket. No,
I
I
don't
got
have
Rocket
Rocket.
for you as a gift.
I don't have Rocket.
Oh,
You might have Rocket. Might be in your storage.
okay. Well, yeah,
I
because
mean, I haven't seen him.
all of my stuff is still packed.
Yeah.
So
Oh, man, I need to get Rocket back. Man, that would've been really weird if they would've seen that. But anyway,
that
yeah,
would have been weird. That would
I
be
opened
weird for me to take him though, because he was a gift to you.
yeah, that would make me sad. But yeah, they definitely saw it because they wrapped it in paper, just the head.
That's so
So,
embarrassing.
sorry about that. I swear I'm not into
They're
anything
like,
weird.
they're like, okay, I guess we're wrapping this because it's porcelain, right, guys? And the other guys are like, yeah, careful, dude. That thing's probably freaking haunted. And he's like, I don't want to wrap it. You wrap it. No, you wrap it. You found it.
Probably this is probably what happened downstairs, yep. They also
This freaking
wrapped
psycho upstairs.
they also wrapped a used mop that hadn't been cleaned
Oh,
and had dirt all over the bottom of it too. So, yeah,
the,
they
it is
packed
so
anything
funny
that was
what they
in their
choose
sight,
to
they
wrap.
wrapped. It was so annoying
Yeah.
how much paper they used. Like,
Yeah. It
oh my
is
god.
so crazy. I remember we had um like like a car thing like to make your car smell good.
Yeah. Oh god.
They wrapped one of those.
Yes. They did
I
so
was
much
like,
stupid shit.
why? Why'd you do that?
Yep.
But then they freaking didn't wrap. I think it was our TV or something or a computer. They didn't wrap something of ours and it freaking broke. And I was like, you're kidding me.
Ugh. Like the one thing.
Yeah, we gotten over it. It's
uh,
been years.
all right, sorry, I had to go on to that little side note there. Okay, so this first one is from an Allison, and she gave the place 5 stars, and this was in 2021. She said, "Lots of
Okay.
activity in a beautiful home. My dad always wanted to go in this house when he was growing up. He passed away this past April, and we came back to spread his ashes. My mom and I took the tour. It was fantastic. The house is beautiful, and the activity was crazy. This was during the day. Footsteps, smells, whistles. The doll in the picture I'm posting looked so much like my dad from far away that it unnerved me. The owner told us his name was Thomas. That's my dad's name. She bought him this past April. It could be coincidence or it could be my dad telling me he finally got to see the inside. Either way, I recommend going to tour this beautiful house." And that was really cool.
Oh, yeah, that one's
Um
beautiful.
this next one is from Dean, and he gave it 5 stars, and this is in 2019. It's titled "Overnight at the McInteer Villa." Had a blast with a group of fellow ghost hunters. Place is sorry, they didn't use punctuation. Had a blast with a group of fellow ghost hunters. Place is legit. Plenty of activities set with an a, a Victorian background. Couldn't get much better from mystery, music, shadow figures, footsteps, and EVPs off the charts.
Off the
Amazing.
charts.
Would recommend to not to no what not it's quite a hunt. I don't know what he's I don't know. I think that's a typo. Would recommend. It is quite a hunt.
Would recommend. It's quite
Would
a hunt. It's
recommend.
off the
It's
charts,
off the
man.
charts, man. It's awesome. Okay, this one is from a T Town Tripper in
Okay.
2018 and 5 stars. Awesome old house. We did the self
Mm.
guided tour with the owners, who explained the history of the house and some paranormal activity. I got a creepy feeling in the purple parlor with the piano. I asked the owner, and she said that they have heard piano playing and the violin playing sometimes, which makes sense because Isabel was a violinist.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, this next
Um,
one's yes.
I got a creepy feeling in the purple parlor
Purple
by the
parlor room.
piano.
Purple parlor room by the piano. Was this a
By the
Dr. Seuss
piano.
book? All right, Aaron in 2022. This is the only one of the only negative reviews that I found. So
Oh,
I'm
I don't like
sorry.
that.
I'm sorry to read a negative review about this place, but I feel the need to say this
Yeah,
one.
it's freaking rude.
I was very disappointed in the mashed potatoes because apparently everyone else ate them. But the ghosts were most stellar. The host is most divine you will ever, or the most divine creature you will ever meet, like a blonde goddess on a haunted bog. That's missing mashed potatoes. So, everyone ate her mashed potatoes, apparently.
Okay, so she's not disappointed
It
in the
was a
mashed potatoes.
negative. No.
She's
It was,
disappointed she didn't get any.
yeah, she didn't, disappointed she didn't get enough.
That would be me. I love mashed
Okay.
potatoes.
Another from Brittany. Come for the ghost, stay for the mashed potatoes. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Okay,
Okay,
I
so
want to
you
go just
talked
to try
about
her mashed potatoes
as
now.
I was saying, you were talking about loving potatoes at the beginning of this. I don't think we were recording, but
No,
we
we
should go
weren't.
now just so you can have the potatoes.
I need the potatoes. I need the potatoes in my life.
It's a potato.
It's a potato.
Uh, okay, so as of today, the home has been, and there's so many more reviews, but I really felt like I needed to cut it down because there were so many ones about how immaculate the potatoes are too, and how like that's not even the only like there's so many people talking about how great this place's potatoes are. So if you go there, try the potatoes because apparently they're awesome.
Sounds like we need her recipe.
And the host is apparently really cool too. So as of
Love
today,
that.
the home has been restored to its old glory. The current owner plays host to visitors coming to tour the home by day or night. If you should dare, you can even stay the night. And if you do, you have to get the potatoes. Don't forget
Obviously.
mashed potatoes and McInteer Villa. Meow, meow.
Meow, meow, meow.
And
Maybe she
that is it.
provides the recipe online.
Maybe. They have a Facebook. I follow them on Facebook. I really want to go to this place, but I want to go with like a big group because
Oh, that
it
would be
also
fun.
sounds a little terrifying from all the stuff that
Yeah.
happens there. I would
Yeah, I don't like
probably
it.
chicken out.
Yeah, me too. That was a good one. Thank you, buddy.
Yours was good too.
Well,
Good
I feel
episode.
like we just kill it every week.
Killing it. Pun not intended.
Okay.
Stay away from meth.
Stay away from meth. So this is my neighborhood story. It says once dated a girl who lived across from Frank the Tank. Frank was a large man who didn't much like his wife, so he would spend hours on his riding mower, basically going over the same 130 square foot, well, uh, patch of grass, I'm guessing, while sipping Coors Light, always in shorts that may have fit at one point, but now made his thighs look like biscuits popping out of a can. Never a shirt. He would jiggle immensely. He also liked to watch the local younger girls run around.
Oh, Frank.
Eh.
No.
Frank the Tank, you sound gross.
Frank the Tank, you stank.
You need a new pair of shorts that fit
Yeah,
you,
right?
buddy.
That was good.
Uh, okay. We're going to get. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Please like and review us like Bree has been telling you for years now. And we know you listen.
Yep.
So do it.
Yep.
We give
Don't.
you this every week. You can at least give us that.
Yeah. Don't make us give you the disappointed feel like we currently
Yeah,
are already.
don't be greedy. Don't be greedy.
Share the
You
love.
know? Share the love.
Yep.
Anyways, have you checked on the neighbors lately?
What's with the neighbors?
Bree and
Amy. Out.
out. Still didn't do it. We'll get it someday.
Actually, I might actually because we were kind of in sync on that. It was just super slow. What if I speed it up? Bring Amy out.
There's one right here. Say hi to your cats for us. You want a treat? Do you want a treat? Do you want a treat? Say hi to your cats for us. Say hi to your cats for us. You want a meow? Do you want a meow? Do you want a meow? That was a mean meow. That was a leave me alone meow.
Maybe you should talk to my sister. I was telling her about how we try to get the cats to meow. Okay, I just remembered why I talked to her about this. I had an idea the other day. Guys, if you want to feature your cat's meow on our podcast, send us your cat's meow and their name and we'll feature their meow in the recording. And then we will also give your cat a shout out. Yes, I meant to tell you that the other day. So, get your cat to meow and then like say my cat's name is Jingles.
Yeah.
Say hi to Jingles the cat for us.
Say hi to Jingles.
Say hi to Leon for us.
Say hi to Jingles. Say hi.
Also, she then proceeded to tell me that she was like, you know, it's really messed up. And I was like, what? And she's like, whenever I was little, I used to pull my cat's tails just to hear them meow.
That is so cruel.
She loves cats, though. Oh, don't get dead. Sorry. Don't do that. Or don't do math.
Do math.
He's so handsome. His mane. He's so beautiful.
You want to say hi to mom? Say
Hi,
to
handsome.
Mom.
You're so handsome. Can you hear me? Oh, you're so beautiful. He's so handsome. Oh my goodness. I miss him. I miss him so.
I'm
Don't
tickling
pull
his
his
tummy.
Oh, it's like don't pull his tail.
He doesn't like it. He's gonna be what, 2?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
He does not like his tummy being rubbed.
Yeah, Robin doesn't either.
He's such a jerk.
Oh, all right, dude.
All right. Have a good
Good
night.
story.
Sleep
You
well.
too. Good luck this week. Hang in there, buddy. Call me if you
Thank
need to vent.
you. Okay, well.
Okay. I love
Goodbye.
you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.